Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kappa Invitationals. I'm Zayori from moonducktv. We've got our second best of one series for the day underway, and the draft has already started. We're going to go ahead and look at the bracket very quickly and then into the draft because I misclicked. Whoa, daddy! It's NND versus the Warriors Gaming Unity Squad, WG.United, as we've been calling them around the office. Should be a good one. Now, this is lower bracket again here, folks. I actually need to look at the bracket in my preview here. This is lower bracket round 3. Winner of this one will be moving on to winner bracket round, or lower bracket round 4, pardon me, where they will be facing the loser of the matchup of TNC versus Sig Trust there in round 3 upper bracket. So a lot to get going here. Man, I'm feeling pumped up. The Taylor Swift got me in the mood to cast some Dota, so I'm ready to rock and roll, man. We've seen WG.United. I want to call them United. It's Unity, but I don't know why. I just, you know, United. Unity seems like the wrong tense, but we've seen them. They've looked pretty good. I believe they qualified out of the Malaysian region, and I think I'm going to have to cheat here. I can't remember which team's from which region. Let's take a look here. Meat is what's for dinner.
Drow Ranger.
Drow Ranger.
Radiant
okay, here we are. Here we are. Yes, Doganyat, they are from Indonesia. And, yeah, WG.Unity, they are from Malaysia. So there's some territorial pride on the line here. Malaysia versus Indonesia, the teams from the two respective qualifiers. So this should be interesting. I have actually not cast Doganyat yet. That was Mott who did all that coverage. So let's see what we're working with here. Invoker, Nature Prophet, Drow Ranger. Yeah, that's a little bit of push. I think we're going to see that aura utilized here. Great to have the Drow Ranger paired with the Invoker. It's incredible. He suffers from low attack damage early on, and guess what? That aura is going to cure all of his woes. She's going to be the nurse that gives him the treatment that he needs to have that laning phase work out. Same for the Nature's Prophet, man. He's going to have a lot of extra fun stuff going on down there, extra right-click damage. And we've seen Prophet be kind of a key pick throughout this tournament. A lot of teams utilizing him really well. Aggressive TPs into the lanes, not just that passive, I'm going to get a Midas and farm on my own kind of Prophet you see in pub games. The active, let's move around, let's rotate, let's gank these lanes and put some pressure on. The active 4 really taking over in this patch. On the side of the Warriors Gaming Uni, we've got OD, Venge, and Enigma is their opening 3. We'll see what their 4th pick comes out as here. Again, the greedy 4s. It could be a position 3 Furion for Nasnan Doganyat or WGU. Now, I think they're going to have that advantageous laning stage with the Enigma. Now, we've talked about Enigma a lot, and I really feel like this guy is a double-edged sword. Very greedy, can farm very well. If left unchecked, takes over your jungle. However, if you got problems in the lanes, if you need a little bit of help, if old Vengeful Spirit can't carry the load by herself, Enigma can't really do a hell of a lot to rotate into the lanes. If your offlaner struggling and you want to switch into a 2-1-2, you simply don't have that option with an Enigma. Now, a hero like Nature's Prophet, he's happy as hell to sit in the lane. He'll take some last hits if he can get them. He'll share XP. He can still contribute a lot, but just the nature of how Enigma works makes it difficult for him to move around early, at least before level 6, and really help support the lanes. And we've seen games in this very tournament where the Enigma pick has been the bottleneck in the laning phase so much that the game is over before Enigma even comes online. Not completely over, but the team is so far behind that even the biggest of black holes that you can imagine, the dirtiest of black holes, not enough to turn the game around. And you can see WG.Unity, man, they're thinking about it. They're wondering, how do we deal with this push? Because now that the Disruptors come out, this 5-man is pretty scary from Nasnan Doganyat. Bat Rider, though, will be their choice here. So Bat Rider for the off lane, OD probably for the mid, and we'll see who their safe lane farmer is. Now, we've talked about this before as well. Bat Rider and Enigma can be a little bit of a bottleneck. Now that that neutral camp is in the off lane, Bat Rider's life is a little bit easier. He can at least stack that up and farm that himself to get closer to level 6. But it does get tricky for him to power farm towards that Blink Dagger. Enigma's going to be working the jungle, so it'll be more difficult for Venge to spend time stacking. And on top of that, Venge is going to have to be supporting that safe lane. So there's no way that she can really min-max both supporting and stacking up the jungle so that Bat Rider can secure a pre-10-minute Blink Dagger and start to control some tempo. A greedy lineup, but per usual, if the greed is not punished, WGU, well, they could be looking good moving into that mid-game. I like this team fight from the Dire, though. I think NND definitely have the scarier lineup on paper right now. Vengeful Spirit, great to have against the Drow. Bat Rider, not bad either. Anybody mobility base is good to close that gap, knock off the marksmanship, lower the aura for the team, and just put pressure on her. That hero that's so fragile and so reliant on positioning. I think Spectre, a 10 out of 10 ban here for NND. That global presence allows him to instantly break the marksmanship and get right up in the Drow Ranger's face. One of the reasons why Disruptor is really good here. A ranged hero that benefits from the aura, but can also make space for the Drow. Somebody gets up in her face, you've got a glimpse, you've got a kinetic field, you've got ways to keep her alive. Even if she gets jumped on, a good static storm on top of the Bat Rider can stop the lasso dead in its tracks and find a kill the other way around.
10 seconds remaining.
Warriors Gaming have
5
okay creep
seconds
clear here.
remaining.
And that'll definitely come in handy. They've got the Midnight Pulse, really good for slowing down the tower siege. And, of course, the Firefly.
time.
Drag the creeps off the tower, run them into the fire. That is one way to deal with it, but I don't know that that's enough here. And, oh, yeah!
Radiant
The Nyx
team
Assassin. I love it. The perfect melee hero to go with this squad. And I think that means it will be more of that greedy 4 Nature's Prophet. I mean, we'll see. They've got the option to do a 4 Nyx Assassin to roam about, but I think they might just stick him in the off lane. They could do a 2-on-2 here. And since they know WGU have Enigma in the jungle, they could just dominate all the lanes. Invoker should be fine against OD early on.
10
Nyx,
seconds
Nature's
remaining.
Prophet in the off lane has a ton of kill potential.
5
And Drow
seconds
Disruptor is
remaining.
just fine up top, again, for the same reasons I just listed. The Disruptor can peel for the Drow and still put on a lot of damage. Also, once you get a few points in that Frost Arrow, glimpse of back, pew, 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 you got yourself a kill coming. Now, PL, okay. I'm curious how they're going to lane this. Will it be the PL mid? That has been all the rage in the SEA scene, and it's pretty good. Can stand its own against the Invoker, get a bottle, harass with the Spirit Lance there. I mean, it's okay. The PL will be able to find at least a little bit of farm. He can kind of keep the Invoker at bay, but the problem with the PL mid
5
is
seconds
when does he come
remaining.
online? I feel like I've been overusing the phrase power curve recently in this solo casting bout in the Kappa Invitationals, but it's a really important concept. And in this game, the power curve for NND spikes pretty early on. Drow Ranger hits level 6. Like, basically, once they're all level 6, there's 5-man potential. It just takes one pick off from the Nature's Prophet, one pick off from the Nyx Assassin, and all of a sudden, they can transition this lineup into a great flash-pushing team. Aura from the Drow, Treants from the Nature's Prophet, Forge Spirits from the Invoker. That's all you need. And if he stays true to the Exort and goes Necronomicon here, you're going to have a lot of summons just knocking down these towers. And they've got a lot of catch as well between the Nyx and the Disruptor. They come online pretty damn early. Nyx Assassin, one of those heroes, doesn't even really need items to come online. Just needs to hit level 6 in a fairly timely manner, and then at that point, he can even just hide. Sit in the tree line, leech a little XP, and the threat of the Vendetta gank can be enough to put pressure on the map. Now, for WG.Unity, their power curve comes a lot later. In the context of the early game, it's about Blink Daggers and Mech, right? Enigma, most likely going for a Mech this game into a Blink Dagger. Bat Rider has to get Blink Dagger
30
early on.
seconds to battle.
2 key items before they can really come online. Much harder to get than just finding level 6 on a Nyx Assassin or a Disruptor. Furthermore, you look into the mid-game, PL and OD definitely need something to come online. PL in particular. Might go Diffusal first. That'll give him a little bit of damage, but still pretty squishy and not really great at anti-push. Same kind of goes for the OD
The battle
as well as the
begins.
Enigma. This team needs a lot of farm to come online. And I worry for them that NND will just get this lead that WG.Unity won't be able to recover from. But time will tell. Don't want to prejudge it here. Venge off to a good start. Gets a counter ward down. That's pretty nice. They get a lane ward down themselves. Interesting ward positioning here. Probably won't get countered. Dire side, smart call here. They get a sentry down in Bat Rider's neutral camp. We talked about it during the draft, how important this is to Bat Rider picks like this, especially alongside an Enigma. That's going to be his golden ticket to recover and find at least a little bit of farm if he gets zoned out hard in this lane. Other Dire Observer comes down right here, give a little vision of the Bat Rider, block out this hard camp so he can't pull it. I like that they're putting thought into this Bat Rider and realizing if he doesn't get a timely blink, that is a bottleneck for WGD. What is GD? Why am I adding letters now? WG.Unity. So it is the PL mid against Invoker, and we've seen this before, and PL does surprisingly well, especially for a melee hero. Once he gets the bottle up, it's just all lances all day, and it's so annoying to deal with. But once Invoker gets a little bit of experience, once he gets those Forged Spirits out, he can definitely pressure the PL. And like I said before, it doesn't really matter so much if PL farms a little bit more, if they break even. Once you get towards the late game, sure, PL getting that early farm starts to matter, but even with just a Diffusal Blade, he's still not ready to deal with the pushing power that this Dire side has. Let's compare the offlaners here. Nyx to the Bat. Looks like the Bat Rider having a much better time. Small experience lead, and has already found a couple of last hits. With this Prophet in the jungle, it is a little bit more difficult for him to completely zone him out. Whereas the Nyx Assassin is getting poked a little more. He's going to have a battle for this rune here. Furion on his way in. Who's going to grab it? It will be the Nyx Assassin that gets the bounty. Stun onto the Prophet, and they will just let the Enigma walk away. Nice work to contest the rune there, and Nyx Assassin is handsomely rewarded for his troubles.
Quickly.
Disruptor actually grabs a haste rune up top. Still only level 1. Actually hasn't decided what to skill up yet, if it's going to be a glimpse or a thunder strike. Thinking about a courier snipe here. All depends on where PL's farm is. If he was getting a little bit better farm, perhaps the bottle will be coming out already. And Disruptor would have gotten a free courier snipe here. He knows it's got to be coming. But how long does he want to wait? And he will back up just as the courier reaches the tier 3 tower. There's an opportunity cost here. It does give the Bat Rider a lot of space in the lane when the Disruptor's missing like this. Whether he's in the jungle or rotating mid is kind of irrelevant. Throw down a Sentry Ward. Looking for a lane ward here to make the life easier of the PL, and of course not going to find it. So far, so good for this Radiant side. All things equal, they are going to farm faster with the Enigma. 500 net worth, about 750 experience is their favor already. OD doing very well in this safe lane. Actually out-farming the Jaw Ranger by a good bit. 20 last hits compared to her 13.
Denied.
Eden going blow for blow here. It is tricky till the Drow hits level 6. The marksmanship makes such a difference, not only in her personal damage and ability to farm and harass, but just the team in general. They all get a big bump from that extra bit of agility. Bat's getting a lot of good experience here, though. Almost level 5. I guess I'm hard-pressed to say it's the dream for the Bat Rider, but you compare these offlaners. What has Nefari done? Not even level 3 yet. One last hit. Talked about how Nyx isn't a hero that really needs a lot of farm, but he still needs experience. And at this point, he's fallen very far behind. This is one of these heroes that doesn't really recover that well. His whole beingness is about staying aggressive, putting pressure on,
Dire's
and
bottom
ganking.
tower is under attack.
And when you fall behind like this, if you can't
Dire's
solo kill
structures
people,
are fortified.
you're just not that scary of a bug. Push now beginning in the bottom lane here. 3 heroes all grouped up. OD, Venge, and the Enigma. Nice rotation from Afu already.
Dire's bottom tower
Bring the
is under
Eidolons in and
attack.
just start chipping at this tier 1. 4.5 minutes in. There's literally nothing the Nyx Assassin can do here. And of course, as I'm tunnel visioning on that, we're going to miss the first blood. Sorry about that, guys.
Dire's bottom
They get the tower down bottom. PL gets a solo kill on the Invoker. Dare I say, that's not really supposed to happen. Invoker does get his gloves, though. Making progress towards that Hand of Midas. But man, this PL, he's loving it in the mid lane. That's for damn sure. This is looking really good for WG.Unity, man. Everything's going their way. With these kind of lineups, it could really go either way. They have the greed, and if NND can't put the pressure on to stop the greed, then yeah, they're going to pull ahead real early. And of course, that flip side is true. If they can put the pressure on, you can make these greedy lineups just look completely awful. Drow is now level 6, though, and Bat Rider only halfway through 5, but he'll have that lasso soon enough. And man, 20 last hits. Look at this farm. Brown Boot, 1,600 gold. Even without utilizing the jungle and leaving it all for the Enigma, he's still looking at pretty close to about a 10-minute timing for that blink. Oh, Nick's on his way up top. Looks like a push of their own here coming out of the Dire side. Glimpse back onto the Bat Rider. Kinetic Field will lock him in place. They'll get up on the scoreboard here. Easy setup. The catch from the Disruptor. Well, Nick's Assassin joins the party a little bit late. I don't even think he got experience for that. That's okay. He'll help him transition into a push.
Radiant's top tower is under
Firefly
attack.
actually still kind of helping out for WG.Unity.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Glyph comes out, but this tier 3 tower, or tier 1 tower rather, should go down. No problem.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Both teams with a lot of pushing power. Man, both games today, very quiet. It's amazing how different these teams play once they get further into the bracket and that best of 1 elimination continues. The earlier rounds, you see these very same teams diving towers, ganking heavy, staying very aggressive. And here, everyone's just playing safe, passively farming. But it's not a flame, by the way. It's just interesting to observe the difference in play style when elimination is on the line here this deep in the bracket. I think right now the priority for NND is getting level 6 on this Nyx Assassin. You look at that hero level chart, and he is the lowest alongside the Disruptor. That is scary. You've got an Enigma who's level 6 now. He's smoked up with the OD. 2 heroes you don't normally associate with 7.5-minute rotations. All right, well, that's a lie. Maybe the Enigma, but... All right, Radiant Ward right here on the high ground. They see the Invoker. He kills the creep camp a little bit too fast, and they won't be able to get him in time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Uh-oh, Invoker going to walk right into him here. Black Hole. They have to put down the sentry as he gets off the Ghost Walk, but they'll still get the kill nonetheless. Well worth it to deploy the first Black Hole of the game for that pick. And OD will get credit for the kill. It was a close call, though. If they did not have a sentry ward, that Invoker was getting away. Fast fingers on the Ghost Walk almost ensured his survival. Really nice play there, but unfortunately for him, wrong place at the wrong time. WG.Unity with the rotations, man. And now that the OD's left the bottom lane, it'll give a little bit of space for the Venge to get some recovery farm. And most importantly, get some experience. Only level 5 right now. That Nether swap will open up a few more possibilities for the team. And meanwhile, old Bat Rider, 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger. That's one happy bat. I think that's the scariest part of this game right now, is how much further the Bat Rider is ahead of the Nyx Assassin. Level 5 compared to level 7. Talking about power curves, man. That difference in ultimate is pretty significant. I mean, Bat Rider also has some kill potential on this Disruptor. Disruptor needs to be a little bit careful here, and there you go. Bat Rider's going to grab him. Rotation coming in from the Prophet, but I think Disruptor's dead. One more auto attack, and Wen's got him. He may die here, but he buys the Blink Dagger, and he is happy with that trade. Never good to give one to the Nature's Prophet, but if he can get a solo kill and then buy his Blink Dagger before dying, he lost literally nothing. Meanwhile, in the mid, Invoker getting dove again by the PL. Nefari Need Damar. What a name. Rotation from the Nyx. Going to be off the mark with the stun. He'll just get harassed back down. Now the Drow Ranger's starting to rotate. They want to have a go on this PL. They know his Doppelganger's down for another 5 seconds. Glimpse back, and they're probably going to find him. There's the stun. It's a 5-hero rotation for the humble PL. And even that, it is a victory for NND. It will push the Drow Ranger to #1 in net worth, and they are going to try to turn this into a tower push. But I think WG.Unity, okay, was still split farming, given that their PL put so much pressure on the Invoker before that. And if they can grab a pick now with this Blink Dagger, that will be huge. I'm a little bit surprised to see the Bat Rider just reveal it like that, though. He bought it right before he died in his stash. So that was actually the Blink Dagger reveal right there, just killing those creeps in the mid. Definitely could have just hit on the high ground here, kept it a secret, and then maybe tried to pick one. But his lasso was still on cooldown, so I don't know. I guess assuming that they know he's going to have the Blink Dagger. I'm splitting hairs. Mechs will come out right at the same time, though. Enigma gets his at 10:30 alongside the Nature's Prophet. Beautiful timings for both of them. This is exactly when you want to hit the mech. Now down bottom, Nyx Assassin finds his level 6 Vendetta setup. They're going to get the OD here, it looks like. He'll use the Astral. That'll buy him some time, but no rotations coming his way. And they'll just finish him off straight away. Invoker getting credit for that one. Now back towards the mid. They're pinging out this Disruptor. Phantom Lancer wants him, but he gets uked in the tree line. And instead he'll have to settle for just sieging this tower. SCL just eating through the tree line. I like it. Pretty crafty plays. 1 point in the Doppelganger. How are you going to use it? Nyx Assassin hits him with the stun. There's the Static Storm Kinetic Field. Bat Rider's there, but he's got the lasso. Pulls the Disruptor down to the low ground. Sunstrike on the money. PL dies. Disruptor lives. Pretty good fight for the Dire so far. Now Bat Rider comes in, gets stunned. They're going to turn on Nefari. Mech gets used by the Prophet. That'll keep the Nyx alive, and now they want the Bat Rider. He loses his Firefly, but gets the Blink, and we'll make it to the other side of the river. Venge on the run. Some drums get popped. Nana comes in, gets silenced. Eden's ready to fight. Low ground misses, and he will retreat. Meanwhile, top lane, Enigma doing some split pushing. Black Hole is available, but low on mana. We'll have the Soul Ring in about 10, but now the swap from the Venge onto the Prophet. This should bring down the Furion, and it will. Defensive Astral keeps the Venge alive, and she will live through it. SCL gets greedy. He wants the kill, and it's going to cost him his life. The Invoker does end up getting the kill, it looks like, with a Sunstrike on the Venge. So it's not for nothing, but the Disruptor does throw away his life, unfortunately for him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
A pretty chaotic fight, honestly. But I think NND are the big winners. WG.Unity kind of cleaned it up towards the end, but Invoker getting those kills from afar, all the while just forming in the jungle, that's his Midas. And he benefits huge. Now level 11, highest level in the game, even one up on the PL, who by most metrics has had a pretty good match so far in that mid lane. Take a look at the overall gold graph here, and still pretty even. WG.Unity with a very small edge, but really nothing to write home about. WG.Unity in kind of an odd point right now. A lot of heroes holding on to some current gold, but not spending it. OD with about 1,400. Bat Rider now moving into his Force Staff. Even the PL sitting on 15. So even though they are a little bit ahead, you're not seeing that difference in the inventories. Enigma might just go straight into BKB. My God, Ogre Club just right away. Smoke rotation near the Roche Pit. NND are nearby. Just trying to go for Ancients right now. I don't know if WG.Unity actually want Roche or if they're just hoping to find a catch here. Ward battle will go the way of WG. They kill the Observer. Sunstrike hits the Venge. Nice swap to keep the Enigma alive. He mechs a little bit late. Black Hole on 3. Nefari outside of it, though, will be able to get off the Spike Carapace and walked in. That's a free interrupt. Now Met comes out for the Dire. A lot of damage coming from both sides, but it looks like Unity are the ones on the back foot. They trade Prophet away. They lose the Nyx as well, but now the OD falls, and it's basically just PL versus 2. It's a break even, a 3 for 3. Both sides lacking focus fire, just kind of laying damage into one another. The difference maker there might have been the mech, actually. Radiant used theirs a little bit early, and not really the best usage there from the Enigma. I'm going to queue up the replay here and take a look. All right, instant replay. What do we got going on? So Enigma goes all in to get the ward, caught by the Static Storm Kinetic Field. Swapped out by the Venge. Nice play there, but he mechs too late. And the mech is actually wasted. Enigma was topped off and Venge was already dead. Black Hole, a noble effort. But a great play from the Nyx Assassin. And then both teams are just kind of hitting anything that they can. PL thriving in the chaos. And both teams just kind of disengage in the end. Well, okay. The plot thickens. Yule Scepter now out on the Invoker. Really his first big core item. Went Midas into drums, but now he's starting to come online a little bit. Really high net worth, but once he starts getting these core items, he can participate a bit more. How's the Drow Ranger? HOD for stacking up the Ancients there. It looks like just right into Aghanim Scepter. Seems like this is becoming the standard Drow Ranger build. I think I see it more often than not these days. And it is pretty good. It's just a straight damage buff. Gives her that split shot for team fights. Remember, it does take attack modifiers, though, so things like MKB are pretty darn good. Another nice swap from the Venge. Zaki will commit suicide, but he keeps his PL safe. The sacrificial lamb. What every good Venge has to do at one time or another. I think NND still happy with a pickoff, but not ideal. Interesting here. Nana. Hello. Dragonlance after Drum of Endurance. Okay. Now, you do see Dragonlance on OD sometimes. It's a damn good item. No doubt about it. He has okay attack range already, but buffing up even more just lets him sit in the far back. And he benefits from all the stats as well. Nice to have more HP, a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra attack speed. Can't really do much with the quarterstaff when you break it apart, but can at least turn it into a BKB later on.
Radiant's middle tower.
NND getting aggressive here. Smoke rotation into the Radiant jungle. Nefari pops the Vendetta. Zaki not privy to it, but here we go. Walks into detection. He gets caught by the Bat Rider, and Nyx Assassin dies first. It's a gank the other way. There's the Sentry Ward that made it happen. Now the Dire just try to TP home. Eden makes it out. SCL not going to be so lucky. Oh, God, that was a black hole. Ah, foo indeed. Far from ideal. It's a 2-for-0. Great set of kills there for WG.Unity. They get 2 freebies and completely shut down the Nyx, but oh, that black hole was painful. My, oh my. Poor Nyx Assassin. He thought he was clear. He thought he was in that good, but walked right by the sentry. Great positioning from the Bat Rider to be on point with that. Oh my God. The Satyr Tormentor just killed the Venge. Fight gonna break out here. Bat Rider initiated on first, able to force staff away. Roche still goes to WG.Unity. Aegis of the Immortal picked up by the OD, and they will just back out. Looks like they'll get out pretty clean too. That's just a free Aegis. All right, let's take a look. I want to look at this replay here. Ideal. Come on, man. Why doesn't it stay muted? Uh-oh, we're gonna have to hold this replay though. PL? Well, doesn't really dodge the stun. Just a straight miss from the Nyx Assassin, I think. Interesting choice from NND here. They're just gonna push right into the Aegis. Surprising timing. Maybe they saw that black hole get used, so they know it's on cooldown. But they're just going to back up as they see WG.Unity want to make a defense. And I do still want to look at this replay, but we'll see where this potential fight goes. NND could just do the fake back. They've got a smoke. They may go back in. And they won't. Okay. So let's have a go here. So here's the beginning of the team fight. They move into the Roche pit. Pointing out that the black hole's on cooldown. Venge is tanking the Roche down to about half health. Okay. They're just having a good time hanging out in the Roche pit. There's a Satyr Tormentor nearby. Nature's Prophet ult comes flying through right as the shockwave comes in. And Venge goes from half health at Roche to dead. Very nice. Nyx Assassin gets an okay setup here. But there just isn't any follow-up. They don't really have an easy entryway into the pit. The Disruptor isn't there either. He has Static Storm Kinetic Field, but he wasn't in position to actually take a fight at the Roche pit, and that's a big problem. I don't think they can really contest and fight for the Aegis without the Static Storm. It's just so important to their strategy. They need it to kind of zone out the Enigma and the Bat Rider so they can't just jump into the fight willy-nilly. That AoE silence is actually huge. So looking at the graph now, still a very small net worth lead for WG.Unity, even though they have the Aegis,
I'll take
small
that.
experience edge as well. This game is still damn even. And anyone's for the taking. All the tier 1s are down, but still 6 tier 2 towers standing. Both sides were trying to push early on, but have now been kind of stymied here and have just resorted back to farming. Playing very good controlled Dota right now.
Is under attack.
Ain't nothing willy-nilly about it. This dreaded Satyr Tormentor with his shockwaves still poking around. Only his mana for one more. There's a Blink Dagger now up on the OD, still holding the Aegis, of course, but I like this choice. Dragonlance Blink Dagger, all about the mobility and positioning tools, but still doing damage. Gem up on the Bat Rider. What's PL working on here? Yasha Diffusal. He is keeping up with this Invoker, who's only about 1k net worth behind, and given that Invoker had a Midas pretty early on, it's relatively good. Pretty impressive for the PL. Aghanim Scepter will be the next choice for the Invoker. Doing general item check-in here. And Nyx Assassin still piss poor. Living on welfare right now. About 2k gold, though, so he is closing in on that Blink Dagger. He still had a rocky game. 1, 2, and 6. I feel like given how rough of a landing stage he had, it wasn't that bad for Nefari. Necronomicon, the choice for Prophet. All right. You know, you don't really see this build on Prophet very often. Iron Talon, Mech, Necrobook. Interesting. He's going for this, like, medley of team fight. What the fuck was that? All right. But kind of going for this medley of split push and team fight.
Warriors of the wood.
It's kind of like, again, it's a double-edged sword having the mech on the Prophet. It's great because it makes him real beefy, gives him some nice stats, and when he's split pushing, well, he's got a heal to kind of reset a little bit if he gets caught. Sometimes that can be enough to get away. The flip side, though, is times when he has to be split pushing and you're doing a 4+1, your split pusher is the one with your best team fight item. So it kind of goes both ways. Same with the Necrobook. You kind of want to have it in team fights for the damage and the utility, but you also want to have it to split push so you can clear structures. Interesting build. We'll see how it works out. Enigma now has the completed BKB, though. 10-second charge there, and they've got nothing to deal with it. No stun that goes through it that I'm privy to here. The only potential option is Aghanim Scepter on Disruptor if he can catch the Enigma before he BKBs. But even that is, A, very hard to execute, B, unlikely he'll be able to farm an Aghanim Scepter before this game ends, and 3, still doesn't really interrupt the Enigma's black hole, just kind of prevents it from happening in that particular team fight. But he still keeps the cooldown. Pretty big. I'm glancing at the Enigma build here. No, you used to see Enigmas keep black hole level 1 for almost the entire game, just because the upgrade was so negligible. The damage scaled poorly, the cooldown was not much different, and the mana cost went up with each level. Now they normalize the damage. It's not about being closer to the center. It's just pure damage all the way around. So I think that was a general buff to Black Hole. Makes it do more damage, and now it scales pretty well, but when you go for this build, Brown Boots, Mech into BKB, you are looking at a dinky mana pool. And every point counts. Because you need to use Midnight Pulse, you need to use Malefice. And if you have an option, Demonic Conversion is very useful in these kind of teamfight skirmishes. If it's near a creep wave, if it's near neutrals, they can do a lot of passive damage. And are often not focused in teamfights when there's heroes about. So not surprised to see him keep that ultimate at level 1 for a bit longer. Sunstrike, where is it? There it is. And off the mark. Farm, farm, farm. That's the name of the game. Everybody's just farming away here. OD with about 2,800 gold.
Radiant's middle
You know, I think a Scythe of Vice may be a good next item for him. He's gone for these utility positioning items, and now I think going for something that'll give him some damage And also some nice utility. Would be really helpful. Hex is a great tool against the Drow, especially when you have a Blink Dagger. Really good against the Invoker. Just gives their team a little bit more catch. Right now, there's a lot of onus on the Bat Rider to make the catch happen with the Flaming Lasso. And if you get a Blink Hex on somebody else, makes it a little bit easier for the Bat Rider to either take another target so you can initiate on 2, or just follow up. If you can force the Disruptor to use some of his defensive spells on the Hex, then it opens up for Bat Rider to get a clean follow-up initiation. Just opens up possibilities for the team. And an all-round just good item on OD. Gives him everything that he wants. Drow Ranger. Now, this is the build. I mentioned kind of briefly that when you get the Aghanim Scepter, you get the split shot going, and it does take attack modifiers. So something like an MKB can be really good. You're just getting big plus hundreds all over the team. It's also amazing with Maelstrom, because each of those arrows has a chance to proc the lightning, and you're just throwing lightning all over the place. Especially against a hero like PL, it clears illusions really fast. Drow Ranger, uh-oh, caught by the Bat Rider. That's a lasso. He's going to pull her into her doom, and there is no end in sight for the Drow besides the grave. Roche is up, and with the Drow Ranger dead, WG.Unity may go for the big boy. Oh, they're going to get one more here, perhaps. Nefari. They've got the gem on the Bat Rider. There's the Magic Missile stun. Follow-up from Nefari. There's 2 Nefaris, my god. BKB Enigma, he's ready for the Black Hole. Can he get it off here? Black Hole on 1. Catches only the Invoker. OD gets silenced. The follow-up damage isn't quite there, and OD's taking heavy damage. They might get the Invoker after all. Defensive Astral creates some space and buys some time. Mech, not enough to keep the OD alive. But now they want to try to focus on this Nyx. A buyback by the Invoker. NND want to take this fight. But PL's off in the back line. He kills the Disruptor, and he wants some more. He'll get the Nyx as well, and it's a disastrous fight for the Dire. Essentially a wasted buyback here by the Invoker. Doesn't even get back into the fight in time for it to matter. Oh, mama. It's a 1 for 3 plus the buyback. 2,500 net worth exchange just about going the way of WG.Unity. Great fight for them. Invoker's still barely number 1 on net worth. But PL is nipping at his heels. Now with Manta Diffusal, we're about at that 30-minute mark, and lo and behold, folks, that's when these carries start to take over. And PL is getting to that point where he is hard to deal with. Honestly, right now, their only tool to deal with all these illusions is the Drow Ranger Maelstrom Aghanim's auto attack. The problem, though, is that fight started with Eden getting picked by a lasso. They had no Drow Ranger.
Illusion.
Aside from that, these illusions are just damn hard to deal with. Roche now under assault by NND. It is getting pinged out by the Radiant. They are privy to this, though. They need to get moving. Roche down to about half HP already. Only 4 heroes for the Dire nearby. Prophet's pushing up top, and here we go. Initiation from Nefari. Jumps right in. Roche still alive as the Enigma goes right into the pit. They'll lose their Nyx Assassin, and Roche still too healthy. It's not looking good for NND. Meteor comes flying down, but the Invoker definitely going to fall. Eden completely isolated by the PL. 3 hit the deck. Roche dies to the Radiant, and the Aegis will go to the Outworld Devourer once again. The only positive there for NND is Prophet got a tier 2 tower in the top lane, a.k.a. who gives a shit. Another huge net worth exchange for WG.Unity, this time about 2,700. And in those back-to-back team fights, this game has gone from pretty even to way in favor of this Radiant team. Now a full BKB for OD, still going very defensive with this item build. They've been struggling to kill him without the BKB, and now things get really hard. PL going hard at Tarask, really smart choice here again. They're already having trouble killing him. He's about to almost double his HP. It seems like this Drow Ranger strategy is just falling apart. I think with this kind of a plan to deal with the PL, you need somebody that's in the front line to absorb all the damage. And I think the thought process was, well, we've got Nyx Assassin. If he has even an okay time in the lane, he'll hit level 6. He can be the one to initiate these fights, get their supports on the back foot, and Drow can sit in the back and just make it rain arrows 300 style. The problem, though, is Nyx has been unable to do that this entire game. I feel like they really need some big beefcake like a centaur. You know, some big man that can just hop in there and pick up the tab and make sure that Drow Ranger stays safe. I just don't see this PL getting stopped at this stage of the game. I mean, Blink Dagger on Nyx, that's cute. But the full heart, 2,700 HP from 1,500 to 27. I mean, now with the Aegis, I think WG.Unity can just 5-man into towers. They've still got 3 minutes left on it. Take some fights, man. Force it out. BOT is also up on the OD now, so he's looking for more mobility tools. Can kind of ping-pong around the map, split push to his heart's content. Ah, yes, OD, the classic in split pushing. But it does help deal with the Prophet very nicely. OD's a good hero to deal with him. 1, because he right-clicks hard. And 2, because he's got the Astral, so he can interrupt TPs, stuff like that. Down bottom, they're going to catch Nefari. Easy blink lasso. Pretty much nothing the Nyx can do besides just not be in that position. Radiant have a lane ward down that's just about to expire, so they knew exactly where he was, and they also knew he didn't have any friends nearby. 800 net worth gain, nothing too crazy, but a gain nonetheless here for the Radiant side. I'm still surprised they're not grouped up in 5-man, and maybe WG.Unity don't quite realize how much further ahead they are right now. Or maybe the flip side is they do realize how far they're ahead, and they're like, yo, this is elimination. Let's not get crazy. We've got a lead. Let's not throw it away. We're just going to play safe, conservative, play our game. No need to rush it. BOT is from OD. He joins the party. They go in on the tier 2 mid. Prophet was trying to split push up top, and he'll just back out. That is actually the first tier 2 tower kill for WG.Unity, and they'll just rotate down towards that bottom tower. Invoker hanging out down here. They still have the gem on the bat, so they might be able to catch him, but nope, he TP's home just in time. Split pushing Disruptor. The Bat Rider gets glimpsed back as he TP's home. And now the Prophet comes in. BKB Enigma, Black Hole on 2. Where's the follow-up? There it is. OD joins the party. Astral on 1, and they're going to try to focus down the Prophet. They'll get him easy peasy. Now they're going to go on to Disruptor. Tornado comes flying through, but they know that there are no reinforcements inbound. They clear out the trees, and Disruptor gets put 6 feet under. Prophet does manage to kill the tier 3 tower with the Necronomicon units and the world's ugliest treants. But the barracks will stay intact. 2 kills for a tier 3. An arguable exchange. 2 Blink Daggers now coming onto the field. 1 for the PL, 1 for the Drow Ranger. We've talked a lot about mobility and positioning this game. You look at the inventories. It's what the teams are prioritizing. 4 Blink Daggers on the Radiant, 3 Blink Daggers on the Dire, and 1 Force Staff. So mobility and initiation is really the name of the game here. And I think an absolutely needed item for the Drow Ranger. Though I also like that PL is thinking, well, what's one way we can do what that Drow can deal with us? Blink. Well, all right. A blink for a blink, an eye for an eye. Nyx Assassin trying to get the Aghanim Scepter here, it looks like. Would be a nice pickup. Turn an Arubian Assassin here. What was his name? Anubarak? Anubricon? One of those? One of them bugs. Turn him into a lurker, the mobile tower. It's good, no doubt, but is it enough? It's a totally different question. PL and Enigma doing a little bit of split push. BKB now out on the Bat Rider. Uh-oh, down bottom. Speaking of the Bat Rider, they find him. Sunstrike will connect. The BKB, not enough. Gem hits the deck. Venge can't pick it up, but Enigma's here. BKB gets used. No black hole. On the backside, OD brings down somebody. Furion trying to go one way. Eden will finally fall to the OD. Are they going to get the Prophet here? Enigma in hot pursuit. There's the Sprout, the TP. No vision. They get it. Enigma finds a little spot in the trees. And Prophet is destined to fall here, I think almost no doubt about it. There we go. Meanwhile, up top, though, PL, he's just split pushing. He's all by himself. He gets knocked out of the Static Storm kinetic field, gets pulled back. Doppelganger, he's going to start to clean house. Disruptor dies to the illusions. PL, it's him versus the world. Now buyback from the Nature's Prophet. PL gets out. He uses the bloody blink dagger. He knocks his blinking block off.
Dire's top tower is
Chips away at this tier 3. Gets a kill. And his team cleans up on the other side. Buyback from the Nyx Assassin as well. This is looking rough for NND. They need to make a hold here. If they get wiped up again, this is certainly one lane of barracks. EMP Tornado claims some mana from the PL. He's level 22. Holy Toledo. BKB, Black Hole on 1. Catches just the Invoker. Nefari says, nothing I can do, bro. Sorry, you did. Buyback now from the Invoker. NND hanging on with everything they've got. Stun onto Afu. But there's the defensive Astral. Now BKB from the OD. Turns in hard onto the Nyx. Finds the kill there. Now he sees the Furion. That's his next target. He will back out. Enigma goes down as he gets caught by the kinetic field. But this PL wants more. He's out of mana. And I think this is where you need to cut your tail and run. Defensive Astral. Now a reinitiation from the Bat Rider. BKB Lasso. Trying to pull Eden to the low ground. Can't quite get it. And Eden will live. Now it looks like the OD may be the one that gets left behind. But again, these defensive Astrals doing so much work. The Sunstrike off the mark. He blinks away. WG.Unity just playing with their food before they eat it. Now the Drow falls to the PL. And the Furion will die back as well. This could be the end of the game right here. NND going to get completely wiped up after all the fancy footwork from WG.Unity. Unbelievable use of the Astral and Blink Daggers in tandem. The Doppelganger as well. So many ways the disjoint spells reinitiate. And they survive through all of that with only their Enigma down. Unbelievable. This game was so even for so long, but at the end, they just clown on the team coming out of the Indonesian qualifier. Huge net worth trade there. Top lane of barracks will go down. A buyback now from the Drow Ranger. PL in a bit of a sticky situation, but they don't have the damage. The Heart of Tarrasque is too much. Now swap from the Venge. Zaki will play Sacrificial Lamb to keep his core alive. Sunstrike off the money. And Radiant will disengage, now losing only their Venge in exchange for a ranged barracks. All right, let's take a look at this replay here. Because part of that fight was just unbelievable. All right, this is a 2-minute sequence. That's how long it went on for. We're going to watch it. So they interrupt the TP on the Prophet and kill him. He dies. Nyx Assassin buys back. This is just PL versus 3. Okay? They cannot do damage to him. He turns, says, oh, wait. Oh, Disruptor, you idiot. You're dead. They sprout him. He blinks away. Lives through it all. Waits for his teammates to come back. He's like, all right, guys, now we're good. There's still 2 dead. Don't worry. We got this. They go right back in, chip away at the tower. Nefari trying to figure out, what the hell do I do here? I'm just a Nyx Assassin. EMP Tornado misses. The PL is so cocky that he's like, EMP, fuck it. What do I care? I don't need mana. I'm just going to kill him with auto attacks. This is great camera work, by the way. So now they reinitiate again. Enigma comes in, uses the black hole. I mean, it's just nonstop initiation, counter initiation. Enigma finally gets caught. And then, oh, wait. Oh, defensive Astral. Oh, wait, I've got a BKB. Nice meatball. They finally get the Enigma here because of the kinetic field. But just barely. All the while, PL is just running around completely unchecked, clearing up the cores. I mean, it's so long that Bat Rider was dead before this started, has since respawned, walked all the way back. Oh, God, back into the game. We got a lasso. Who's he got? It's going to be Eden. A sloppy team fight by Black Hole on 2. Eden and Nefari caught. Static Storm kinetic field not going to stop the PL from going ham, and it's another bad team fight for NND. A quick 4-0 as WG.Unity catch him unaware, and that's it. The GG's called. That was not the right overlay. Son of a bitch. Sorry about that, guys. That was my bad. But it was a wild team fight nonetheless, right? You want to watch the replay with the overlay? Oh, God, that's a shitty way to end the game. I'm really sorry about that, gang. The replay was intense. The team fight came out of nowhere, and I misclicked. I'll take a demerit for that one. I deserve it. But enough about that. One hell of a game, man. It was so even for so long. And in the end, WG.Unity just completely take control. That replay sequence we were looking at the end there, just unbelievable how well they were able to choreograph that fight and just constantly reset with the OD's Astral, their Blink Daggers, and their BKBs to just run circles around NND. Has to be so frustrating to play against. I really like the idea of what the Dire team went for here. The Drow Ranger with the Maelstrom Aghanim Scepter to deal with the Illusion PL. It's not a bad idea, but they just needed to get more out of that early game. They needed to group up. They needed that Nyx Assassin to be a threat. And unfortunately, he wasn't. And that's where that hero becomes a big liability. A great game, though. And that does finish our coverage for today. There will be more C Kappa coming at you tomorrow. Going to glance at the bracket one last time. And we're getting close to the end here, folks. We're moving into lower bracket round 4 and upper bracket round 4. So just a couple of days left until we get to that best of 5 grand finals. Hopefully, you'll join us for that. Thank you so much for joining us for the coverage today. I'm Zyore from moonducktv. If you enjoyed the coverage, give me a follow on Twitter. If not, go fuck yourself. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.